Hello and welcome to the LinuxB channel. Today we are going to see how to create the first Git. So it will be a kind of hello world Git where you will understand how to initialize the Git, how to add the files and how to commit those files again into the Git. So let us create one directory Git hello world. So and we will go to the cd Git hello world directory. As we can see it here, now the directory is empty. So basically Git is nothing but a source code management tool which stores what has been modified, when it has been modified and who has been modified, so that you can track the history in going forward of whatever changes has been done today and in the past. So now let us create our. So the first thing before we create any file is we can create a empty git using the command called git init. So as we can see it here, the git init initialize the command and initialize the git, and then we see that the git created one directory called .git. So we can see it here. So this directory got created. If we see it, there is nothing, but we have the hidden .git directory created, as we can see it here. And also what it is showing here is using master as the name for the initial branch. So the latest version of the Git are creating a different branch like a main instead of a master. So as we can see it here, this default branch name is the subject to change to configure the initial branch name to use in all of new repositories, which will suppress this warning call. So if we create a Git, by default it will create a branch with the name master, but with the newer versions, like as for example we can see it here, git hyphen hyphen version. So we have this 2.34.1 version. So it is showing that by default it is creating a branch with the name of master, but I think this is not allowed. So to suppress this warning forever, you can do is you can set the default variables init.default branch with the name, like say for example main. So this will set the default branch name as main instead of master. So any new git you created will have the name with a branch as a main. So we can see it here, git config hyphen hyphen list. So as we can see it here, it shows init default branch as main. So let us now verify that whether this is working. So we will delete this git hello world again, and then we will resume it everything again. So as we can see it here, mkdir, we deleted this directory, and then we start git slash hello world. Sorry, we have to do mkdir git hello world. So then we will go to the git hyphen hello world, and now we can see it here, there is nothing right now. Now we will do the first command, git init. As we can see it here, now the warning has gone with the default branch, and it has created initialize the empty git. So now we can see what is the contents of this .git folder. So we can see it here. It says branches, config, description, head. The important to remember right now is the config and description. So normally description is used most likely for the when you add this git directory into the browser, git into the browser. So for now we do not have much thing to be done it here. So another important file to be understood is .git/config. As we can see it here, it added the some names, some arguments, file mode, where. So this is very basic git. So now we will create a file, say hello world.c, and we will add this file into the our git. We will show how to add this file. So we will just write it. So this is the and then we will just do the printf hello world and return 0, which is the simple hello world program. So now this is a we added it into the git. We created the file inside the git. Now if we see the next command we should be knowing is the git status. So now if we see it here, we are on to the branch main. As we can see it here, once we set it previously the default branch, so we are on to the now branch main, which we had set it using the git config command. And we can see it here, there is a file, untracked file, hello world.c. So this git by default will not track any files you created inside the git unless you specifically add into the git. So now we can see we have to add this file using the command git add git add and then hello world.c. So now we can see it here. Now if we again see it here, git status, we can see it here that the file is showing changes to be committed and it is saying the new file. So previously it was showing untracked files, now it is showing new files. So now this file has been added into the git database, but it is still not stored into the git database for the future tracking. So for this command we have the command called git commit, then -a, which is an author. So by default the author is what we have set git email id and username using the git config command. So for example we can see it here, git config -list. So as we can see it here, the username and email IDs will be used as an author when we commit it here. So now we will go back again and do the git commit -a. As we can see, now we got the window of this commit edit message. So we have set the default editor as a Vim. You can also use your favorite Git editor and then type insert. So it is we can write the message like what has been changed, who has been changed, any further reasons or references you can add it. So we can write it as a first git for demo. Now we can see this is the title. Now you can add it here the description for git or the files added in last changes. So you can do add as much as you want it here, and then you can save using the hyphen colon wq exclamatory sign. Now we can see it here. Git is showing that the file has been created, new file has been created, hello world.c. Now if we see the git status command again, we can see it here that now it is showing that the git is clean and the file has been added. Now we can see git status again. As we see it here, it is showing the git is clean and the file is there. Now the next command we have to see, it is a git log command. Now using the git log command, what you can see it here is the who is the author, then when the file has been created or changed, then the title of the change and the description like what we have created here. So now the git has been completely ready. So this is what basically the git is all about, and the first git we created. So the important now to revise is we used below commands. First command we used the git init, then next command we used the git status to check what has been there after adding the file. Then we used git add file name, or alternatively you can also add all the files using git add dot from the current directory. And then the last command we used is a git commit hyphen a. So this is how we created our first git. So this same information is also available onto our website, Linuxb website. We can see it here how to create first git repository. So here we can see that we created a git hello world directory, then we initialized, then we created a hello world.c program. So now you can see the difference. When the post has been created, it was created with the older version of the git. So by default git had created a master branch. Now in the latest versions of the git, this has been changed and we are forced to create a different branch than master. So now if we see it again, here we added the file, and the next we see in the git status. So here this we also had added the git config username and emails. So if we see it into our previous videos, so in that we had created a global username and email ID. So using git config hyphen hyphen global. Now if you want to override these variables, you can add these commands also, git config username, and then this will be for this specific to this git. You can see now we see in the git log command, which did not had any commits before commit. This is showing that the branch master does not have any commit. That means commit was yet to be done. Now here we can see it here like this, git commit hyphen m. This is first commit with hello world.c. So now in the terminal we have used git commit hyphen a as a command, which opened the Vim editor and allowed us to add the title and the description. But if you want to avoid, or if you have just title to be added, you can use this git commit hyphen m, and this is the message what you want to add. But I will suggest best thing is to do is git commit hyphen a and then add the title using editors. Now we can see it here, it is a git status. So it is showing we are on the master branch. Then Git branch, it shows we are onto the master branch. So now if we see it into this our Git, we can see this command using Git branch. So as we can see, the difference is it is showing main as a current active branch. So now the star means it shows it is an active branch. In the older versions, the active branch was master, and then last is the git log, which shows what is the history. So you can always come and refer to this post for the any information. This we will be adding it into the description of the video. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.